Alright, this is Conor McGoff from 9.7 WKKL, and right now I'm interviewing my Nana, Alice McGoff, and I have a question for you. What was busing like here in Charlestown?
It was wild. It was unsettling. People were very unhappy. And it was something that shouldn't have happened.
And did any of your kids get involved?
My 3 children had been assigned to schools in the Roxbury area, and I didn't want to send them across town on a bus. So they went to the town right next to us in Everett and went to Catholic schools.
And how'd you deal with it?
Well, I went to work every day worrying about it. My Lisa stayed here in Charlestown High, and I worried about her every day.
And how do you know how they dealt with it? Like when they were...
Well, Lisa tried to continue school as if busing wasn't there.
Okay.
It was very difficult. There were teachers being knocked down flights of stairs. There were kids punching each other out. It was very, very, very traumatic for the kids going, all the kids, the black kids, the white kids, all the kids going to school. It was very traumatic.
And was this back when there was racism around?
I know, and I only can speak for me.
Okay.
I had no problem with black people coming to this town to go to school. I had no problem with black people moving next door to me. I had no problem having friends. One of my granddaughters has a mulatto boyfriend for over a year. I had never had a problem with that. But I was worrying about their safety. It wasn't a question of if they were in Charlestown, they could get to me right away. If they were in Roxbury, it was a little more difficult for me. So I wanted them around. I wanted them in my neighborhood.
And so I just drew a blank. But did any of your kids have a problem with racism or no?
No, they get along with it. Bobby and Robin went to school, and Kevin went to Charlestown High.
Okay.
Lisa was elected president in her senior year. Kevin was elected president in his senior year. Bobby was elected president in his senior year. So, in order to be elected, you had to have votes from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, they didn't have any problems.
That's good.
They tried to avoid the troublemakers while stating how they felt. They felt like they had a right to go to their schools in their town, where they could have a sports program, extracurricular offerings rather. And if they went on a bus, if they wanted to join the football team as your father was on, they would have to stay after school and come home by themselves. Well, I didn't want that. So that was my reasons. I was a widow. I had 7 kids to worry about, and I wasn't going to have an additional worry about whether they were safe crossing town, or I know they'd be damn safe in Charlestown. And that was my reasonings.
Well, no, my dad, I think he was a tough son of a gun back then.
Oh, he was. He placated. He tried to do everything. He tried not to be involved. All he cared about was basketball and girls.
There you go. That's my dad. That's my dad. And so, is there anything about like busing else you want to talk about? Like,
no, I think they have. This is 35 years later.
Okay.
In 35 years, the schools have lost a lot. If you have the motivation, you can go after it, but you have to work at it. It just doesn't come as easily as it did before. I mean, I'm not in the system. I don't know what's going on. I don't have any young children for a long, long time. And your father's what, 51? You know what I mean? I don't have any young children.
Yes.
But I do have a daughter, Lisa, who is in the midst of everything. She has been working in the public school system as a special needs teacher for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
And she said the kids are a little different today. All kids, not necessarily black kids or Chinese kids or white kids. All kids. They don't seem to have, I don't know how to put it. They don't seem to have the same kind of respect that they used to have for the teachers. When we were young, not as we got older, but when we were young, being in the room with a teacher or a nun was like being there with your mother and father. You did exactly what they told you to do.
Yeah.
But that doesn't happen anymore. That doesn't happen anymore. There's, when you went to Charlestown schools, half the teachers in the schools and half the nuns, they lived in Charlestown. So if you're down the store shopping with your mother and your teacher walks by, you know darn well that you could be in big trouble.
So you would have to respect them.
You would have to. You had no choice. They don't have that same kind of respect as they used to have. Okay. But then society doesn't have the same kind of respect that it used to have. So maybe I don't know if it's the schools or it's just a matter of, it's the times.
Yep. Okay. And I think that's about it.
Yeah. Well, it was good talking to you, Conor.
No problem. This is DJ Conman from 9.7 WKKL, signing off.